What's going on, everyone? Today I'm breaking down every detail and strategy that actually works against the first Berserker Khazan's brutal final boss. In the next 15 minutes, you'll learn the exact dodge timings, damage windows, and build optimizations that I've personally tested over several days and can now recommend. So whether you're struggling or just want to make this fight trivial, this is your complete blueprint. Obviously, a quick spoiler warning for who the final boss is, but if you've clicked on this video, you're probably already at this point in the game. Okay, let's move on. In this guide, I'll break down both phases of Ozma's fight with this overpowered spear build. I'll also give you two versions, a simple, guaranteed win for any skill level, and then an advanced version. I didn't unlock the secret third phase, I'll cover that in my New Game Plus video. Quick side note, I'm not covering the golden set with Shadow Reversal. That's because everyone already knows about that broken combination. It's been beaten to death. I figured you'd appreciate something a bit more creative and fun, so let's get into it. First, let me share a secret about fighting mages in this game. If you saw my Troka video, you already know the drill. Rush them down hard, never let their stamina recover, dodge those nasty status effects like your life depends on it, because it does. I learned this the hard way. Ever notice how many players get stuck against the mages? It's because they hang back, playing it safe, and that's exactly what gets them killed. You can't let Ozma breathe. The moment you play passive, he'll unleash his entire spellbook on your face. But here's what I didn't expect. Ozma has serious weaknesses, and what if I told you his most intimidating spells are just smoke and mirrors? But more on his skills later. I went deep into the gear rabbit hole for this fight. I spent an hour on stream with chat's help, then another 3 to 4 hours testing solo. In the end, I found something unexpected, a hodgepodge build using Smitten Jar from Danjin. This beauty cuts set item requirements by 1, opening up possibilities. Let's break it down piece by piece. For our spear, Soul Piercer gives us 100 extra max stamina, which is a game changer in long fights. Dragon Knight's Pauldrons add 50 flat damage. Don't sleep on this, it adds up really fast over long extended combos. Then we have Crimson Fiend Wrist Guards. These give 15% damage when enraged. In case you don't know about the enraged status, it triggers when stamina drops below 50%, and this happens constantly against Ozma, as we are always dodging and chaining long combos. Hey, if you're enjoying the content so far, do me a favor and please hit the like and subscribe buttons. It really helps out the channel and lets me know which type of content is providing value for you all. Okay, back to the video. Next come Dragon Scale Leggings for 10% stamina damage boost. Pair these with Butcher's Shoes for another 10% on swift attacks. But here's what I didn't expect. The accessories actually make this build shine. Necklace of Wisdom gives spirit accumulation on Brink Guard. And yes, Phantom Heatwave actually counts as Brink Guarding, but I'll get more into that later. Finally, Elamane's Ring adds 10% damage. Plus, Elamane is best waifu and we gotta represent. Am I right or am I right? I know this looks weird mixing plate and lightweight armor, but this hits B tier agility with minimal vitality points and 0 points into strength. I'll talk more about the stats in the next section. Just know that we're using everything with a purpose. Now, I know a lot of you won't want to hear this, but what if I said that your crafting priorities matter just as much as the gear you're wearing? You may not believe it, but I felt the difference in combat. For offense, you want to focus on attack damage, damage increase, stamina damage increase, damage multiplier, and brutal attack damage increase. As far as defensively, roll for stamina recovery, max health, max stamina, and defense. Oh, I almost forgot about consumables. Keep it simple with just 3. Vitality Spheres for stamina regen, Spirit Ores to recover spirit, and Chaos Cleanse Potions. Those chaos traps on the ground that Ozma throws, well, we have strategies to avoid them, but a backup plan never hurts. Let's talk stats. I built this character to break through Ozma's defenses without getting crushed. So first up, 40 points into Vitality. This hits the B agility threshold with our current gear setup. When I faced Ozma, I had about 60 in vitality, but something interesting happened. As I learned his patterns, I needed less health and instead more offensive pressure. And by the way, I'm level 134, which is exactly what the game recommends for this fight. But of course, feel free to go higher if you're struggling. Here's what also surprised me: endurance. I pumped 60 points here and it changed everything. This sweet spot gives enough stamina to dodge whatever Ozma throws at you, while still chunking half of his bar whenever you strike. Obviously, I put 0 into strength or willpower. Those are dead stats for this specific build, and as far as our main stat proficiency, a solid 70 points. Well, technically 63, plus 7 from the Smitten Helmet. Spears scale primarily off the stat, so it gets the lion's share of our points. So let's dive into skills. I won't list every single one since a lot of them come down to preferences, but I need to show you the game changers for this fight. From the swift attack tree, grab everything Moonlight Stance related. Every single node. Duration increases, stamina damage boosts, recovery enhancements. It's not optional, this is the backbone of spear combat. Under Potent Blow, Spiral Thrust and both the subnodes are non-negotiable. This single skill nullifies several of Ozma's Phase 1 attacks completely. Also, get After Image Thrust. You might be asking why? It extends combos and keeps Ozma locked in a stun state even longer. I'm honestly shocked how little other players use After Image Thrust. I think people are sleeping on this skill. Under the Chain Tree, take Trance with all 3 subnodes. This might be the single best spear skill in the game. The damage buff alone justifies it, but the combo potential breaks encounters wide open. Now for the Shrewd Tree, Vital Strike is our distance closer. It's the best combo starter when Ozma is trying to create space from us. But here's what I didn't expect to be so powerful: Shadow Strike with both of its subnodes. This skill is criminally underrated. It nullifies incoming damage, teleports you behind Ozma, and increases all temporary effect durations and damage while using a spear. Think about that. It boosts Moonlight Stance, Trance Resolve, and Phantom Heatwave simultaneously. Under the right conditions, this skill is absolutely devastating. From the Guard Tree, Phantom Heatwave plus Ghost Strike are must-haves. The Moonlight Stance and Full Moon buffs make this choice obvious. As for the Common tab, I'll show you my selections, but most are preference-based. Some swear by the Reflection Tree and Phantom Form, but I'll stick to the essentials. Alright, last thing before we get into Phase 1. There's not enough to make a whole section about this information, but as far as Phantom abilities, I go with Conrad the Swift for the decrease in stamina cost for dodging, and the increased damage bonus upon successful brink dodges for 15 seconds. In my Khazan's memories, I maxed out stamina damage as well as damage percent increase. Let's break down what actually works against Ozma in Phase 1. Pop a Vitality Sphere before entering the arena, because the extra stamina regen, why wouldn't you? And here's what I love about this fight: the opening sequence never changes. We get a free Vital Strike plus 1 more hit before he retaliates. Brink Guard his first strike, then Brink Guard his second for free damage and an easy opening. From here, Ozma will start to get desperate. He'll spam projectiles at you, but I found his weakness. He has 2 very dangerous attacks. The first is those spears of chaos energy that he throws and then stick into the floor. The second are those expanding circles of either fire or chaos tornadoes. They killed me repeatedly until I discovered something. Brink Guard and Phantom Heatwave destroy those spears mid-air. Gone. Problem solved so that you don't have to avoid those chaos traps on the floor. And then those fire and chaos tornadoes that seem unavoidable, Spiral Thrust pierces right through them and staggers him. Remember when I said this move was clutch? Well, this is why. Just keep enough spirit for the charged version of this move. Trust me on this. Master those 2 counters and everything else becomes manageable. Let me walk you through the rest. When his scepter floats up pulling orange and purple energies, it looks pretty terrifying, right? just hold block. You'll take some status buildup, but zero actual damage. Turns out that move is all smoke and mirrors. He also has another fire ability where he stabs his scepter into the ground and causes it to explode. Block this too. Minor damage, some fire status, but nothing serious. And he won't even have time to follow it up, so this is a perfect window for healing if you need it. One of his most annoying attacks, that Ice Charge Scepter Slam creating a cone blast on the ground. Run to the sides, flank him from behind, and hit him with a charged potent blow if you have time. Otherwise, Vital Strike into a short combo. Avoid standing where he just attacked, or you will build up some frost status. But even if you do, don't panic if it happens. Just create space and sprint around the area. The status clears quickly while you're sprinting. And what about those 5 floating Chaos Swords? Well, it's easier than they look. Give yourself space, watch for the launch, dodge the first sword, then hold the button down to continue sprinting away from the rest of them. It's that simple. Sometimes he'll fly away and then charge back at you with a spear attack. Just block it and then follow up with your own Vital Strike and combo him. If you can extend it long enough, you'll put him into exhaustion. Similarly, he has some grounded attacks where he's walking at you swinging his scepter and wings. Just back up, make him whiff, and then punish with Vital Strike into a short combo. Now let's talk about that fire laser. He floats up into the air, charges his scepter with fire that'll track you with an orange beam. Don't watch his scepter, watch the ground, because the laser's path will show you exactly when to dodge. If it hits you, just dodge immediately to avoid the follow-up explosion. Getting hit twice means burning status, and that's bad news. If the fight drags on long enough, he might back up and start chucking a string of small chaos orbs, followed up with a chaos beam. Just sprint away from the small projectiles, pause momentarily, and when they're done, get ready to dodge that follow-up beam. It's pretty straightforward once you see it. Also, always look for his telegraphed burst attacks. It's embarrassingly easy to counter, just like Troka and Risa's attacks. I know that's a lot to process, but now you have a counter for everything in Phase 1. Want to push yourself even further? Well, here's some advanced tips to demolish him even faster. At the fight's beginning, his second swing is perfect for reflection. Follow with the long combo to drain his stamina bar to 50%. And remember that floating scepter that gathers energy? Well, that's your Phantom Heatwave moment. Use that to power up your Moonlight stance. He'll then follow with a diving attack, which is another reflection opportunity. Or use Shadow Strike if you find that easier. Both of those power up the Moonlight stance effects. One last thing I learned after dozens of attempts, he flies away quickly after you perform your burst attack, which makes it really hard to add on any meaningful damage afterward. Instead, always perform burst attacks from his back for the extra damage. Just remember you'll need a moment to rebuild your stamina before re-engaging. Boom, Phase 2 begins. Pop another energy if your health is low. Follow with the Vitality Sphere for that crucial stamina regen. Let me be clear here, his claw strikes are the real threat. He's got several variations and all looking frustratingly similar. He moves fast, leaving little room for error. I must have died at least 20 times to these combos before finding the pattern. His standard 4-claw strike never changes timing, so Brink Guard the first 3 hits, then dodge the last one. Follow this up with a quick combo. He has a second version with only 3 strikes. Brink Guard timing is the same, there's just a small pause between the second and third attacks. And have you ever noticed how he mixes these up with a charged pink energy pulse? Well, you have to dodge this, then dodge immediately again. Otherwise, the follow-up pulls you closer to him and chunks your health bar. This next one fooled me for a while too. When he charges pink energy but floats backwards slightly, he's about to dive at you with a devastating claw strike. Here's what I didn't expect. Brink guarding this dive will put him in a stun state immediately, which is a perfect window to demolish his health and stamina bars. Another thing to watch out for are his shoulder charges that move at the same speed as his powered up claw strike that we just talked about. Your choice here if you want to brink guard these or dodge, but there really isn't any time to swing back at him. Then come his jumping attacks. 3 leaps crashing down with his claw each time. Brink guard or dodge the first 2. And that 3rd leap, it's slower and more powerful. So use Phantom Heatwave here and you'll stun him, often long enough to extend your combos and trigger exhaustion. Remember that fire laser attack he had in phase 1? Well, he's got one here too, but this time it comes from his eyes. Dodge sideways just like before and avoid the follow-up at all costs. His burst attack usually comes after the 4-hit claw combo that I first talked about. I won't sugarcoat this, it's actually incredibly fast once he dives in, so when that red symbol appears, be ready for your counter strike. Once he's at about 50% health, everything changes. He builds pink energy, powering up for a cinematic barrage, very similar to Choka's fight, but far more dangerous. But you can still sneak in a good amount of damage at his health and stamina here. What you do is, while he's summoning energy, back up until you see runes form on the ground. Stand just outside of this circle and charge a full spiral thrust. Timing here is crucial. Thrust slightly after the runes appear, or the explosion will interrupt you and chunk your health bar pretty badly. Once he's skyborn, you want to use your spirit ores, unless you're a brink guard master, because you'll want to spam Phantom Heatwave against his projectiles. And here's why. Every projectile you brink guard reflects back at him, dealing massive stamina damage. Counter everything and you'll deplete about 75% of his stamina. This is your game changer moment here. After the barrage comes a diving claw attack. Use Shadow Strike to nullify the damage and teleport behind him. Now this is where he powers up a devastating ground exploding AoE attack, but I found a bulletproof technique. After that Shadow Strike we just mentioned, follow up with 3 swift attacks into 2 dodges. The second dodge should perfectly avoid the ground explosion, then quickly land another combo before he recovers. When done correctly, he should now be in his 2nd exhaustion. If so, your next burst attack will end his life. If he's not in exhaustion yet, he'll summon a Chaos Stone that pulses with damaging energy, and you have to destroy this as fast as possible. Top off your health if you need to, then Vital Strike the stone. Hammer it with potent strikes and trance as fast as possible. Yes, the Chaos pulses that release will hurt you, but with full health you can just ignore the damage and focus on destroying the stone. Once gone, Ozma becomes stunned. Finish him off with your longest combo. Now congratulations, because the final boss falls before you. As far as more advanced tips for Phase 2, his very first Claw Strike in Phase 2 is actually perfect timing for reflection. Also, after his eye lasers, he'll always follow up with the 4-strike claw combo, which means, again, more reflection opportunities. Use Shadow Strike and Phantom Heatwave whenever you have spirit points to spare. Just make sure to save enough for a fully charged Spiral Thrust for when he summons that circle of runes on the ground. And honestly, that's pretty much all you need. At first, I thought Phase 2 was impossible, but now it just feels like a dance where I lead every step. If you found this guide helpful, please let me know down below. And if there's anything I missed, leave it down below as well, because it will help out other players looking for tips against Ozma. And if you want to see more content like this, then check out one of these other boss guides if you're still struggling against previously defeated bosses like Troka or Hismar.